Hey y'all, it's Seth with Somos Real Estate. Today we're going to talk about, can you back out of buying a home? Canceling a contract, are there repercussions? Do you have a right to do so? The answer is yes, but it's convoluted. There's plenty of reasons you can and plenty of reasons you shouldn't. Basically, if the terms of your contract state that you can terminate at any time and get your earnest money back, then you have that right. If you've opted for an option period or an inspection period during that time frame, whether it's 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 2 weeks, you can terminate for any reason at any time during that time period. Often reasons for this are, there's a discrepancy on the seller's disclosure, or you haven't received a seller's disclosure yet. During that time period, there may be inspection issues. You realize that the sewer line has been compromised and it's going to be a $7,000 new sewer line associated with this. Or maybe there's aluminum wiring or lead-based paint issues. The other thing is maybe you've changed your mind. Maybe the market shifted. Maybe you've had a change in jobs and your financials aren't there. As long as you're within that inspection or option period, you can terminate for any time, for any reason, and get your earnest money back. Additional reasons that you may be able to terminate the contract outside of that option period are things like there may be a problem with the survey. Maybe there's an encroachment, or maybe the lot is not as large as it's been stated in the listing, or maybe there are some encumbrances on that. There are also, you can raise these objections. Perhaps there's a zoning or land use issue. Another one is failure to provide the seller's disclosure. We mentioned that during the option period, but oftentimes people neglect to provide a seller's disclosure, which is required by the state of Texas, and therefore you can terminate a contract and get your earnest money back if there's failure to receive. There could be title issues. Perhaps there's a lien on the property, back taxes, things of that nature that would keep the property from getting title cleared. Additionally, there could be HOA issues. There may be an HOA lien. There may be an HOA suit against the property because the property owners have failed either to pay their HOA dues or have been fined by the HOA. Not lastly, but there could be a financing contingency issue. Perhaps everything looked like you were qualified and everything was going to be good to go, but there's an issue that's been arise with your credit or with your lender, and typically if you have a third-party financing addendum, you do have a time period for meeting your financing contingency. This may be another exit strategy on the contract. Lastly, I have appraisal issues. Oftentimes appraisals may come in lower than what the contracted price are. Depending upon how you have the contract written or your addendums, you may be able to back out as a result of the appraisal, or you may be able to renegotiate with the seller of the property. If you don't have any terms to get out of the contract, you may end up forfeiting your earnest money. So you can terminate, but you lose the earnest money that you've put down. Additionally, you may be subject to a suit for specific performance by the seller. They may determine to sue you for not closing on the property. These are all things to consider when backing out of a contract. Lastly, I just want to state that the state governs the rules for how earnest money is returned. Not the title company, not the agent, not the seller, not the buyer. Ultimately, you're subject to the rules of the state. I hope this helps, and if you have any questions, please reach out to us.